Xin chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với livestream với Pyrelics Gaming. Hôm nay mình sẽ xem cái livestream của Path of Exile, thông báo về mùa mới. Thì theo mình thấy là mùa mới có tên gọi là Expedition. Ok. Thì hồi sáng giờ mình cũng chưa có thời gian rảnh để mà xem cái livestream. Hồi tối mình cũng không thức dậy để mà xem livestream. Cho nên bây giờ mình sẽ livestream để mà xem cùng các bạn nha. Ok, so Path of Exile announcement stream. Ok, để chờ mình một xíu. Let me just pull this out like that. Ok. Hello. Đã có 15 bạn vô rồi ha. Ok, thôi mình bắt đầu luôn tại vì cái livestream này nó cũng dài. Tới 39 phút, còn 40 phút. Ok, anh em ở nhà cách ly có thời gian rảnh thì cùng vô xem livestream với mình. Chuẩn bị một rổ chôm chôm, vừa xem livestream vừa ăn chôm chôm. Oh yeah. Ok, để set up cái rổ chôm chôm mà cho nó khỏi mũi nước. Ok, all set. Yeah, ready. Ok, all good. Right, go grab something to eat. Ok. Rồi, bây giờ mình bắt đầu xem luôn nha.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to our live stream and thanks so much
Chris
for joining
Wilson.
us today. Our team had a lot of fun putting together Path of Exile's 315 expansion, and we've got a lot to share with you.
Hello,
Today's live
chào
stream
các
is a
bạn.
busy one. We'll start by revealing the details of this expansion's new challenge league. Then we'll show you how this
Expansion
is
trailer, new
dramatically
challenge
shape
league
Path of
reveal.
Exile's metagame in a big way. Thirdly,
19 cục
we'll talk
gem
about our
mới.
plans to make Path of Exile more challenging, restoring some of the adrenaline and terror that
Making
you may
Path
recall
more
from the
challenging.
good old days of close beta.
Làm game khó hơn nữa hả?
Next up,
What?
we're going to talk about Path of Exile Royale, the 100-player battle
Royale?
royale mode that we experimented with back in
Royale?
2018. We'll be launching a
Royale
restored
kiểu như
and
chơi
version
kiểu
of Royale
PUBG đồ
today,
hả?
once
Battle
our question
Royale.
and answer session with Ziggy D has concluded. And this event will
PUBG
run over the
Fortnite.
weekend.
Now
Anyway,
POE
there's a lot to
Royale.
discuss, so let's get started with the trailer for Path of Exile's next expansion.
Nếu mà có Royale thì mùa mới có thể nó sẽ focus về PvP, player versus player, là người này đánh người kia. Cũng thú vị. Oh, this is the trailer. Nhìn giống mùa 2 xí ta. Mấy nhân vật nhìn giống mùa 2. Yeah. Nó cho mình cảm giác như là mùa 2 rồi xong có mấy cái dây nhợ nhìn giống như mùa Harvest, đi trồng vườn các kiểu.
Retrieve our relics and we'll strike a deal.
What the hell? Nhìn y chang mùa 2.
Follow the path of our forebears to discover their unknown fate.
So, Eye of the Winter, Spectral Helix, Forbidden Rite. Okay. Rage Vortex nhìn giống như Cyclone. Vortexic Burst. Mình không boss nữa. Storm Rain and many more. Okay.
They wait, shrouded in darkness, for one who may finally challenge.
Thường mấy cái cục gem mới á, anh em nào mới chơi đừng có chơi mấy cục gem mới làm gì, để xem mấy người streamer họ chơi, họ test thử xem. Tại vì thường mấy cục gem mới á, thường nó sẽ rất là yếu. Không phải là rất là yếu nhưng mà nó sẽ khó để mà chơi, khó mà build. Cho nên anh em mà mới chơi đừng có chơi mấy cục này làm gì. Nhìn nó đẹp, nó hấp dẫn cái thôi chứ à.
And power will be yours. Should you survive our expedition.
June 23. Ok. Việt Nam là July tháng 7, ngày 24 tháng 7. Sáng ngày 24 tháng 7 các bạn.
Alright, I've got a lot to tell you about. Let's start with the Expedition League itself. Long ago, Kalgoran explorers came to Rayclust in the hope of colonizing it. Rayclust did what it does best, and they never returned. In the Expedition League, you will meet a group of Kalgorans who have set out on an expedition to
Yeah.
investigate the fate of
Heist
their
2.0.
ancestors and recover special ruined artifacts they left behind.
Rune artifact.
The ancient Kalgorans
Kid.
underestimated the dangers of Rayclust, and this new expedition is no exception. They need your help to protect them from the undead that rise at their expedition sites. As you travel through Rayclust, you'll encounter the Kalgorans at sites they believe their ancestors attempted to settle in the past. By the time you get there, they will have marked the site with signs indicating where chests are buried, holes indicating where their ancestors lie, and will have possibly unearthed some remnants of past Kalgoran settlement. Due to the unique nature of Rayclust,
Nếu mùa 2 là đi ăn cắp nhà băng, mùa này nhìn kiểu như đi ăn cắp, đi đầu mộ vậy. Đầu sọ tùm lum hết.
the Kalgorans have found that the most effective way to excavate these sites is with explosives. And that's where you come in. You'll place a chain of explosives across the expedition site, carefully planning what each blast is going to unearth.
Ok. What? Có đi trồng kỹ năng trồng vườn từ mùa Harvest phải sử dụng lại ở đây rồi. Ai mà đã chơi qua mùa Harvest rồi thì sẽ hiểu cái kỹ năng còn để mà kiểu như kết nối những cái dây nhợ với nhau trong cái game này.
Once you have defeated the army of undead, you're free to open all of the chests you unearthed and claim your rewards.
Okay.
It's up to you to decide where to place the chain of explosives to maximize your gains. Do you unearth a lot of monsters? Do you unearth more special monsters? Or do you go for the chests and try to avoid combat?
Wow.
The ancient Kalgoran explorers built structures on Rayclust, and you may encounter remnants of these at excavation sites. These remnants have various modifiers on them that, when destroyed, apply to monsters and chests unearthed from that explosion onwards. Remnants greatly increase drops, but have some very difficult modifiers like immune to physical damage. You need to be very
Đi đào mộ, rồi xong mấy con zombie lên, rồi xong mình đánh chết nó, rồi xong mình nhận được reward. Ok. Lý cũng dễ hiểu mà ha.
Speaking of rewards, there's a lot of
những cái đồ mới. Ok.
cool stuff to find. Alongside valuable equipment and currency items are Kalgoran artifacts and logbooks, which we'll talk about soon. The Kalgoran traders have made this expedition to Rayclust in order to recover their ruined artifacts.
Legend Bone Circle Artifact. This can be used to trade with... ok, có thể dùng cái này để đổi. Stack tới 1000, ok. Trade. So, sẽ có 4 NPC để mà mình đổi mấy cái này.
Many different types of artifacts, and each of the Kalgorans is interested in a different set of them, with a unique way they want to trade them from you. For this expansion, we really wanted to play with the idea of having NPCs that want to trade with you in different ways. So we have themed their behaviors around the concepts of gambling, bartering, upselling, and exchanging. Let's meet the Kalgorans.
Okay, 4 NPC.
Thien is a mercurial trader who maintains a positive outlook as long as he can, but if you cross a line, his temper changes quickly. Nguyen offers you items with unreasonably high prices, but he's happy to haggle. You can always buy the item at the price he's offering, but if you offer a lower price, he might accept it, counteroffer, or withdraw the item entirely if he is a...
Ok, thì những cái này sẽ như là tiền tệ, mình sẽ dùng nó để mà mua đồ. Đây là trao đổi nhưng mà cũng kiểu như là mua đồ đi. Thì nó sẽ đưa ra cái giá và mình có thể trả giá thấp hơn, mình có thể trả giá thấp hơn. Thì nó có thể là nó sẽ chấp nhận cái giá của mình, hoặc nó sẽ đưa ra một cái giá khác, kiểu như bargain, để mà nó đưa ra giá khác có thể là thấp hơn, hoặc là nó có thể không bán luôn. Okay. Đi chợ mà trả giá vậy đó.
He also occasionally sells currency items, so it's worthwhile keeping some of the artifacts he's looking for on hand just in case you see an opportunity.
Okay.
Grog is an average man pushed into Rayclust's dangers. He's helpful, concerned, and a bit fearful. He is very happy for you to do the fighting so that he can stay safe on the sidelines. He loves making deals and trying to upsell you.
Upsells you.
If you buy one of the items that Grog offers, he'll try to offer you a more complex deal where he improves the item via crafting. If you accept this deal, he'll try to upsell you again and again until you eventually walk away.
Anh mập này thì hay bán thêm upsell không biết tiếng Việt là gì ta. Nếu mà ai làm bên sales, ai làm bên mảng khách sạn và khu nghỉ rồi thì sẽ hiểu cái câu là upsell, Nếu như mình sẽ giới thiệu cái món đồ này rồi xong mình sẽ bán món đồ đó cho khách. Thì anh này khi mà mình mua một món đồ của ảnh thì ảnh sẽ cho mình một món đồ, không phải cho mình mà giới thiệu cho mình một món đồ khác có thể là ngon hơn để mà ảnh có thể có cơ hội bán cái món đồ đó. So this guy's the salesman.
If you can't afford one of these incremental upgrades, you can leave and come back later with enough ruined artifacts to cover the cost. Because you don't get to supply your own starter item for this process, and have to select an item with promise from the range that he offers, his incremental crafting upgrades are priced rather cheaply. Nguyen is a cynical gambler who claims that luck depends on how hard you believe. So you really need to convince yourself that you're going to get that headhunter. If you don't, it's your fault. Nguyen shows you a set of base types with unknown properties. When you gamble by buying one, you'll receive a random item of that base type back. It could easily be a random magic item that you have no use for, but can sometimes be a valuable rare or unique item. It's probably best to prioritize gambling on base types that are most relevant to your character.
Ok, thì chị này sẽ bán những cái món đồ mà base type. Thì ví dụ như Headhunter base của nó là một cái belt, leather belt. Thì chị này sẽ bán là cái leather belt. Thì nếu mà mình mua cái leather belt đó thì nó sẽ có cơ hội ra cái Headhunter, ví dụ vậy. Nhưng mà cơ hội ra Headhunter thì I don't know. Ví dụ vậy thôi nhá.
It's possible to use a specific new currency item to re-roll the gamble window to a set of new items of your current level.
Có thể reset.
Sometimes a base type shows up that is a lot more expensive than it would otherwise be, and gambling on this item has a higher expected value than normal.
I was getting back to this recently. Is this POE? Yeah, this is POE, man. Part of Exile. This is the new league coming.
Is the heart of the expedition, its brave leader and lawmaster. Danik is interested in specific types of ruined artifacts and wants to trade these from you for a variety of options, such as currency that lets you reroll vendor
Coming out, new league coming out in 2 weeks.
Or artifacts that other Kalgoran traders are looking for. You can talk to the traders in the wild, in town, or in your hideout. They grant you access to your expedition locker, which is like the heist locker, a lockbox for league-specific items, which can be accessed in all 3 places also. We're adding the affinity.
Lại thêm một cái rương mới nữa.
Among the many relics of the ancient Kalgoran,
chơi tới một hồi là cái hideout của mình đầy rương luôn á, rương cho tất cả các mùa, vừa harvest vừa heist rồi vừa cái rương này nữa, là 3 cái rương rồi đó.
A logbook item can be rolled to have a set of explicit mods, like an endgame map. Each location within the logbook has its own implicit mods, as well as a theme that controls what types of remnants can be found there. Talk to Danik in your hideout and give him a logbook you have found to go on an expedition to one of the locations it describes. These are all exotic places that no exiles have ever traveled to before. Just like how a blighted map was one giant blight encounter with no natural monsters, the expedition you go on from a logbook is one giant expedition. Expeditions from logbooks are not only different because of their large size, but because there are special objects that you can interact with using explosives. For example, trees that contain monsters or items, passageways that reveal chests or bosses, and so on.
What? Cái này giống như đào hầm cộng với map.
Bosses, there are some formidable ones for you to seek out, and a set of valuable new unique items and base types that can only come from expedition content. The Kalgoran people are not from Rayclast, so the items
những món đồ có thể bắt gặp ở trong khi mà mình đi cái expedition, một loại map mới.
This new base type is a pair of boots that grants ward and can get mods that improve it. The way that ward works is that you have a certain amount of it, and that amount is fully deducted from the first incoming hit that you receive. Your ward is then disabled and takes 5 seconds to re-enable. At that point, the next hit you receive is substantially mitigated in the same way. It's quite a different style of defensive property and works very well in conjunction with systems like evasion, block, or dodge.
What's my build for New League? I have no idea.
Enemies you unearth in expedition encounters are fallen Kalgoran explorers.
Probably gonna play Spectre, but I don't know.
This unique helmet allows you to go all in with ward as a defensive option for your character.
Intelligent, increased ward, faster ward. Ward. What the hell is ward?
It causes all increases to energy shield to affect your ward instead, grants you a bunch of ward, and helps it recover faster. This other unique helmet is also on a new base type that grants ward instead of other defense types, but its properties don't interact with ward. Instead, it prevents you from dealing critical strikes and grants you Battle Mage, which adds spell damage equal to the damage of your main hand weapon. The new base types and uniques I showed you here are just some of the ones you'll be able to discover when you play next week. So that's the Expedition League. Each of the developers I've spoken to has liked a different aspect of it, but I've
Okay.
really personally been enjoying the different trade mechanics.
Không hiểu cái
offered by
khúc mà về
Cobra and
Word này lắm.
NPCs. The gamble window takes me back 20 years on a nostalgic trip. And Thuyen's
Nếu ai mà đã chơi
haggling
Liên minh
and
huyền thoại
fantasy
thì
magic
sẽ biết
negotiating.
Word là những cái
And
cây
anyone
cắm
who
để
really
mà
knows me
nó tỏ
knows how much I love negotiating.
sáng khu vực đó. So
This
Word
expansion
here không biết có
also
giống không.
promises to massively shake
I don't
up
know.
the path of Exile
The
gaming.
skilled support
And
gems.
we're doing that by introducing new gems. Lots and lots of new gems. For quite a while now, the way we've approached new skills in Path of Exile expansions is to make a bunch of gems themed around an entirely
New
new
gems,
build
skills,
or dramatically augmenting a few existing builds. The blood skills in the Ultimatum expansion are a good example of this. While this approach is great in terms of creating interesting new builds, it doesn't always affect every character game-wide. In order to achieve this big metagame shaker, we've come up with a crazy idea for the Expedition expansion, adding a gigantic pile of new gems at once, spread among as many different playstyles as possible. Each of these gems can of course be used by many different classes, but we use the list of 19 ascendancy classes for inspiration when planning these gems. Our goal here is to break
Ooh.
up.
Có Necromancer. Có thể nào là có một cái gem nào đó mà nó sẽ làm Necromancer mạnh lại không?
Regardless of which build you're playing, there will be
Tức là
new
phải chơi
gems you
Spectre
can
thôi.
add to your character. Let's go through the 19 new skill and support gems. The Earthbreaker support gem can be linked to any slam skill. Upon
Earthbreaker.
use, it summons an ancestor totem that uses that slam on your behalf. In this example, we've created a build that summons multiple ancestor totems that each wield tectonic slam. As you can see, this build covers a large area of fiery death while you get to stay out of harm's way. This is a powerful option for large area of fiery death while you get to stay out of harm's way. This is a powerful option for large area of fiery death while you get to stay out of harm's way.